Up till now, I've only covered the earliest of cases, which have almost always increased in value as time has gone on. But today is time for something completely different. Time to buy each of the Gamma case skins in the highest quality possible in both StatTrak and non-StatTrak varieties. How much would those 34 skins have cost back then, and how much are they worth now? Time to look back with 2020 hindsight. The Gamma case came out quite a bit later than the other cases I've covered so far. This one was launched in mid-2016, and you will soon discover this will change a lot about it. With 17 different weapons featured, it's a lot larger than the earlier collections were, and I've decided to change the rules slightly by buying them all a month after release. Since from the cases we covered so far, it's clear that a week isn't long enough to give prices time to settle. But even this might not be long enough with this case, as all of the contained skins have devalued further as time has gone on. You might be somewhat relieved to know this, because normally with this series you'd be all like, oh, if only I'd bought the skin back then, it would have been so easy to make money. But by 2016 people were beginning to wise up to this. And you can be smug knowing that you're better off than the people who bought these skins a month after their release in the hope that they'd become a good investment. The worst one you could have bought would have been the 5/7 Violent Daimyo. Both the standard and StatTrak varieties have dropped to a third of its value. You're only talking about a drop from, say, £6 to £2, but it still would have sucked to have stockpiled like 20 of these in the hope of making a future profit. A more expensive mistake to make would have been the StatTrak M4A1S Mecha Industries. This one would have set you back £311 a month after release, and now goes for just £114. If you had to buy a skin, like if a guy held you at battle-scarred gunpoint and demanded you bought one of these skins in July of 2016, your best bet would have been the non-StatTrak Scar 20 Bloodsport, the value of which has only dropped by 8%, or 14 pence. But then the Mac 10 Carnivore was so cheap that even though it's dropped by 27%, that still only equates to about 10 pence, so perhaps you should have gone with that one from a monetary value. Or perhaps you just shouldn't have bought any of these. Just give the guy pointing the gun at you the money instead. In total, a month after release, the collection would have cost you £894 and is now worth just £406. You'd have been better off burning half that money than losing the other half down the back of your bed, only to rediscover it all today. Alternatively, if you had invested that in Amazon at the time, it would now be worth £3,021. And back then, Bitcoin only cost £505 each, so today your investment would have been worth £13,577. I'm pretty sure all these videos could be shortened down to you should have bought Bitcoin instead, but that applies to pretty much anything you could have invested your money in. It's testament to how terrible an investment this case is that, even when blessed with 2020 hindsight, it would still have been difficult to have made much of a profit on the skins in these cases. At their best, most skins have only doubled in value. That's pretty crazy considering how many skins there are and how many years of price fluctuations they've endured. With the Mac 10 Carnivore, if you had bought here and sold here, then you could have tripled your money. It obviously depends how many you buy and sell, but at the rough daily quantity these things buy and sell for, you're talking about a grand total profit of just over £9. In fact, your best bet would have been the AUG Aristocrat. Both the StatTrak and non-StatTrak varieties could have quadrupled in value had you perfectly predicted the absolute best times to buy and sell these mothers. Hindsight is 2020, but even with that, if you wanted to become a millionaire from buying and selling these skins, then you'd have to have started pretty well off in the first place. One surprise is the price of the cases. These plummeted straight down to the minimum of 3 pence, where they've remained pretty much ever since. But in the last month, since this series started, they've more than doubled, up to 7 pence. Quick, buy them up. Make my investment go as high as you can. But of course the best time to buy would have been a month ago. Remember, it's always easier with hindsight.